Holy snapping bra straps. It's a podcast.
Republic of Avalon Radio. It's 0 hours, Avalon Standard Time.
Hi, this is Amanda from New York City. I'm on my way to Newfoundland, and I can't wait to experience the music of the Rocks firsthand.
Hey, Jim and Lillian, this is Mike Buscom in Vienna. I've been thinking about your introduction there, but, for your international people, and you did say you like German, that holy snap and bra straps. You need a German version of that. And I've been thinking about it a little bit. How about Heilige Schnauze und Busenhalterträger? Anyway, listen to that a couple times and then do your own lingo in German. Heilige schnauzenden Busenhalterträger. There, said it slow enough. You got some material to work with. We'll talk to you later. Take it easy and all the best. Bye.
Republic of Avalon Radio. You're with the roar!
Republic of Avalon Radio, you're with the Roar. I'm Jim Fidler, and this is episode 17 of Republic of Avalon Radio, the Power Hour. We're very glad to have with us this week Colleen Power, singer, songwriter, friend, and she actually came to Ireland with us in March and was part of Atlanticfest 2005, and you regular Roar listeners would have heard her already. And for you newcomers, welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy Colleen Power. Just a couple of little things to touch on, as this is a special episode. We do have some business that we'll have to take care of next week, but in the meantime, a big thanks to those of you who pitched in and helped get our numbers up. We actually did crack the 5,000 mark, as we sought to last week. And the good news is we almost hit 5,500. So from what we can figure, about 10% of you, if it were 1 for 1, if for each person there was one new listener, that would mean that about 10% of you pitched in. And a big, big thank you to you, and for you other folks who intended to and for some reason somehow didn't quite get around to it. Let's pitch in and see if we can get this up here. Pretty impressive, 500 in a week. That's very, very good. Lillian is very happy, folks. When she saw the numbers, she was very woohoo on the whole thing. And I must say I am as well. The more the merrier here at the Roar. So if you can pitch in, let's see if we can get this up here. Now we're just shy of 5,500. Let's see if we can crack the 6,000 mark for next week and build things. And by the way, things are going very well over at the forum. You can get over there by going to our website at republicofavalonradio.com. Just click on the forum button and drop in and say hi. We have 3 forums over there right now: Eddie's Shack, the Roaratorium, and Fidler's Pub. So all are welcome over there. Of course, people can get in touch with us. Our email, we have 2 email addresses you can reach us at: republicofavalonradio@gmail.com or jimfidler@gmail.com. You can Skype us at Republic of Avalon Radio, all one word, all lowercase. And, oh boy, there's just all kinds of ways of getting in touch with us, including our favorite, as you know, the Roar line. Call us on the Roar line. Leave us a message. Country code 1, area code 724, and the number is 426-8176. And we would love to hear from you. Alrighty, 2 little things to mention before we shove ahead. One is Yahoo has support for podcasts in their directory now. So if you go to www.podcasts.yahoo.com, well, the rest is self-evident, and it's way cool. It's very, very easy. For any of you guys who've been having a little bit of trouble with however you've been getting the Roar and whatever other podcasts you've been listening to up until now, give that a try. It's very, very nice. And also, Google is in on the act. Google has put out a new newsreader, which you can find at google.com/reader. And, of course, go check that out. You can subscribe to whatever news feeds you might like to keep up on and have them delivered to you just the same way as the podcasts are. And the nice thing about it, it also supports podcasts. So, first iTunes, and now we have Yahoo and Google on board. So, things are going well for podcasting. The word is spreading. And, of course, with the new iPod video out, well, God only knows where it's going. I'm sure there's going to be some people video casting. We're not planning on doing that here ourselves. This whole outlet springs out of a lifetime love of radio for me. So video can just kill somebody else's podcast star. All right, without any further ado, let's press ahead with this special episode 17 of The Roar, which we call the Power Hour, due to our guest, Colleen Power. We'll start out with a song that I recorded on my latest CD, Midnight Rover. The song is called Avalon. You are listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
Now the party's over, I'm so tired. Then I see you coming out of nowhere. Much communication in emotion, without conversation or a notion. Avalon, when your samba take me out of nowhere, and the background fading out of focus. Yes, the picture's changing every moment, and your destination, you don't know it. Avalon,
Republic of Avalon Radio, you're with The Roar. I'm Jim Fidler, and that was Avalon, and that wonderful voice you were hearing, that wonderful female voice you were hearing, not the male one. That was my good friend Colleen Power, and she's here right now with me in the root cellar, right here in the studio. What are you at?
Not much. What are you doing?
Just sort of, just here basically to kind of drag you through the mill and see what sort of dirt we can drag out of you.
Okay.
Not really. Actually, you are interview number 1 on The Roar. People will be glad to know that this is a trivia question that might pop up at some point in the future. Who was the actual first interview on The Roar? And that would be you, in the root cellar, that is.
Well, I feel honoured.
Yeah. Well, we're very honoured. I think what we want to do is just sort of have a chat. See, I'm not one of these, real journalist types or anything like that. So I'm just a musician like Colleen, and so we'll just let it go free. I don't have a stack of paper in front of me with kind of 20 questions or anything like that. So, but I think what we will do is we'll start out. I just want to paint a little picture for you, Colleen. You're a little girl, and it's a summer day, and sort of tell us a little bit about where you are and what's going on in your life and what you're seeing around you, and kind of in your little girl mind, how do you imagine it's going to be when you're a big girl, and let's just start out with you way back when.
All right, Jim. I was raised in freshwater Placentia Bay. So I guess as a little girl, I would be in the front yard of my house playing dinkies, I would imagine. We used to play dinkies in the front yard and make all kinds of roads through the gravel, and had a little fake dump with some old dinkies with the wheels gone off and stuff like that, and either playing dinkies or making mud pies, or torturing the kids across the street by throwing rocks across the brook.
That's a good start. That's a good start to get it. Anyone looking to get into music? Any young people listening to this? Play dinkies, make mud pies, and terrorize the neighbours across the street with rocks, because you'll be rocking them later on when you grow up, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Mud Pies. That'd be a good name for an album or a band. The Mud Pies.
Yeah. So
all right.
That's about it. I had a pretty organic childhood.
So when did the singing? When did you sort of start fancying the notion of like music and singing songs and all that?
Well, definitely not back then. I mean, I sang kind of because I had to. I guess when I was young, I sang in the choir and in the school glee club, and never really took it seriously, just because it wasn't really an option as a career, I suppose. Like, I mean, I never would have even thought. I mean, I went to university to be a teacher, like my father and his mother before him, and my aunts, and everybody else seemed to be a teacher. So I never really thought about. I love to sing, though. There's no doubt about that. I got kicked out of the choir one time. And I think it's because I didn't really follow their format of the choir voice. I was always trying to come up with some kind of harmony or something to make it sound better.
You weren't conforming.
I wasn't conforming, so I got kicked out of the choir. I guess I was probably around 9 or 10 at the time, and my mother phoned up the choir director, and I was back in the next day. So it really upset me. I was really upset. I had similar type things. I think I lasted in the Boy Scouts for about 2 weeks, and then there was some foolish activity that they wanted us to do, and the boys elected me their, they have the various little groups, I don't know what they're called, troops or whatever the case. Anyway, they elected me their leader for some strange reason, and this thing that the scoutmaster or whatever insisted that we do, some foolish dodgeball thing, Right.
And the boys weren't into it. They just weren't into it. They thought it was foolish and dangerous and everything. And so I had to go and say, look, my boys are going to sit this out. Oh, no, they're not. And so it got to the point where I had no choice but to say, well, if if they're going to elect me to speak on their behalf and you're not going to listen, then I'm useless. And off I went. And he tried to sway me back into the thing with a trip to Boston.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of weeks later, they were all getting on a bus and going to Boston, and I just looked at him and said something in my little 12-year-old voice along the lines of, are you really that low?
Right.
Or do you think that I'm that pathetic or something like that? But anyway, yeah, I know where you're coming from with that whole getting thrown out of the choir kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what happened after from the point of getting back into the choir, and I guess let's pull you up into your teenage years, and you must have been listening to some stuff on the radio and starting to kind of get interested in doing something other than singing in the choir at some point, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I started to have like fantasies about singing, and one of the things I used to do, of course, my mother always listened to VOCM, and my father always listened to Irish music, the Clancey Brothers. I think that's all he used to listen to all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I love, at the time I kind of didn't like it because it was associated with Dad drinking and being up all night and hearing it through the ceiling or the floor of my bedroom,
Yeah.
So, but there were those influences. But what I really caught on to was the American Naval Station, because we could get it in fresh water because it was right next to Argentia.
Yeah, I was conceived out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there you go.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I listened to a lot of that, and when that was the first place I ever heard Prince, and it was the first place I ever heard a lot of new kind of rock, innovative music that I'd never be exposed to otherwise, because
the music formerly known as innovative.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
But I started to like Prince a lot, and I started hearing like the Police and Michael Jackson and all these other kinds of music that I wouldn't normally seep in through the household through what they were normally listening to.
They weren't spinning that too much on VOCM, I guess, at the time.
No, I don't think so. No. So that was great. Like, I mean, I really liked that channel. And then Oz FM kind of got on the go, and that's where I started hearing like bands like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin and Van Halen, which then I got into my metalhead phase. What do you call it? Metallica.
Jean jacket.
Jean jacket and
all that jazz.
Yeah, it was, and my little button collection all over my jean jacket.
What color was your hair at the time?
My hair was my normal, regular color, which is dark brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like now. I don't. It doesn't look like anything like that now. But
we'll see if we can get a picture of you up on the site, or people can go to your website and have a look. I'm sure there's some images of you there.
Yeah. There is. There's not none of those ones though.
Okay. Is it just ColleenPower.com?
ColleenPower.com is my website. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So around what time, what year sort of are we talking about now with the Oz FM and the AC/DC and the Led Zeppelin and all that?
This would be between the years of 84 to 86, maybe 87, but I still like all that kind of music. Like I still enjoy my metal days.
That would be the era that many people would refer to as the Oz FM in decline era.
Right.
After they used to play all the cool stuff like...
They gave up playing the AC/DC and stuff after that.
And the Pink Floyd and Roxy music, Love is the Drug, and the Kinks and all that stuff.
Yeah, so then I was up to my own devices after that, and I had to go out and bought all the tapes, bought all AC/DC, and I was a big Neil Young fan. I bought all the Neil Young's tapes and listened to them a lot. I guess that's where I kind of wanted to be a singer after that, But then I got pregnant. So I got kicked out of the choir again.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't kicked out of the choir. I was still in the choir right up until I was 17, and actually got pregnant at the time, and it was discouraged by my grandmother that I go be in the choir. So during Mass, she would kind of buy me bags of cheesies and apple flips, and I'd stay in my room during Mass while I was pregnant.
Okay.
So that put a sidetrack on things like that.
I guess what's the inference there, that Jah don't like them unborn babies and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime or something like that?
I don't know. My dad was a teacher at the school at the time too, at the same school I was going to, and
Woe
it was really weird.
is me, shame and scandal in the family.
Yes, exactly. But, I mean, you know, I'm glad it happened the way it did, and I'm glad I have my daughter who's 16 now, and she's excellent, and things work out strange. I mean, if I didn't have to have her so young, I probably wouldn't be able to pursue my career as I am now, you know? Like, things work out weird.
It's funny, you know, that people ask me, you know, whenever anybody asks me that same question about, you know, oh my, it must have been some hard losing your sight or having to go away from home and all these things. I don't think... I can't imagine it. Even the slightest little thing, if it were different, where would you be now? I mean, it doesn't take very much. You know, it's like from a distance, if you're like looking, I guess, through a telescope or something, you move that telescope one slight little degree, you know, and so
yeah,
this is it. Here we are.
That's it.
You know.
Yeah, and we're doing okay.
I think we're doing fine. Yeah, we're not rich or big and famous or anything like that, but we're doing something we love doing, and somehow we're remaining fed. We're feeding ourselves somehow.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the main thing. Mm-hmm. Well, let's get you into St. John's and let's get you singing.
Okay.
How did that happen?
Of course, I came to St. John's to go to university to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And it was more like, it wasn't really what I wanted to do, but it was like, I don't know, it was kind of expected of me or something, and I was kind of caught in that mindset that you have to have this regular job. And
does that ring a bell? Anybody out there?
Yeah. So I pursued that for 4 years. I went to university, and my daughter was an infant when I started, and it was really hard, and kind of ended up dragging out the courses a bit, you know, where I had like the first couple of semesters were full course loads, and I found it hard being a single parent with a baby. So I kind of stretched it out and did like 3 the next semester and 3 the next semester. And eventually I ended up just being completely bored.
Yeah.
So I answered an ad on the wall at the university down by the library for a vocalist. And I don't know why I did it. To this day, it would not be something that I would normally do, but I just was bored. So I called this number and went down and auditioned for this band, and actually had learned the wrong 2 songs on the tape for the audition, and came into the rehearsal, and these guys were there playing the song, and I just started singing the words of the songs that I had learned, and I didn't know what was going on, and they didn't know what was going on.
Hey, you invented the mashup.
And so anyway, Buddy was like, well, you know, what's going on? Give me the tape. So I gave him the tape, and I had learned 2 songs by David Bowie, The Man Who Sold the World. This was before Nirvana released it, and the other one was Diamond Dogs. And went in and was supposed to have learned these 2 alternative songs by this band called All and another band called the Asexuals. And here I was singing over their music, David Bowie songs. And but I actually got the job.
Cool. What was the name of that group?
Girl Drink Drunk.
Girl Drink Drunk.
Yeah.
Now that rings a bell, actually.
We never played. Might have done one night at Women Jammin' at the Ship Inn years ago, but we had like 30 songs, and I guess the guys never thought that it was good enough to play in a bar, so I quit that band because they weren't really into performing.
Is there anybody of note that was in that group that some of us may remember?
I don't know if you would know them. A guitar player named Bruce Dyke, and I haven't heard of him in years, and a bass player, Mark Otto. Scott Mansfield was playing drums.
Okay.
You might know Scott.
Yeah,
he was in it playing drums.
Okay.
So that was that, and then from then on I moved on to Leyton-Power with Jack Layton and Dave Vivian and Scott Mansfield.
yeah, that definitely rings a bell.
Yeah.
So that's like
that brings me up to about 94.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That late?
Yeah, that brings me up to 94.
Gee whiz.
And then after that, I moved to Ontario for a year and never really did anything. I sang in a few bars and had a few skish bands on the go, and moved back here again and had a band called Happy Girlfriend.
Yep.
It was a loud kind of rock band with Clem Curtis and Phil Dinn and Durham English.
I remember that one.
Yeah. And then things kind of deteriorated in that band and started my own band. And here I am now, Colleen Power.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Well, now that we've got you up to sort of almost the present, you came up to me one time down at the Ship Inn. What was it like? Was it folk night or was it what the heck was that? Or was that there was something going on?
Yeah, I'm trying.
I don't think it was a regular gig or anything.
Probably folk night, I would imagine.
You came up to me. You were working on a CD, and you had this reggae song or something. You were talking to me about. What was that all about?
I was talking to you about the reggae song that I had called Chickadee. And of course, I loved your music, and I'd heard your reggae tunes and your kind of world music and stuff. And I asked you if you would mind having a go at the song, you know, and you agreed.
I remember you kind of bashful about it at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty shy usually.
Isn't that funny? You know, people think of, I don't know, people like myself or you know, when you're making CDs and you're out doing interviews on radio and TV and stuff like that, a couple of big assumptions that people make about you are, one, that you must be extremely sort of, not outgoing, what's the word I'm looking for?
Overt.
Overt, an extrovert somehow. And the other assumption is that you're rich.
Yeah.
Because you're on TV and that.
Exactly.
You know?
How many times do I get that? Oh, you're doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing great. Oh, yeah.
And what can you say? How's the music business?
Yeah.
How's the music business, Colleen? Oh, best kind.
Yeah.
Best kind.
See you on TV. Yeah.
Yeah. So you must be doing something right. So this Chickadee thing, you were telling me about it, and I think you kind of like hummed a little bit of it for me and sang a little bit or whatever, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I remember I explained to you sort of what I heard going on in my head. And of course you remember my old group Pressure Drop, and
Yeah.
I don't know, you might even remember PTR before that. Do you remember that?
I wasn't around for PTR.
Okay.
But I heard some of the recordings and stuff.
And I remember I was explaining to you, okay, I can sort of hear what's going on. And I was hearing something more along the lines of, see, I'm a big Bob Marley and the Wailers fan.
Oh,
and
me too.
My number one drummer, my three drummers, I think, of all time would be Carlton Barrett, the drummer for the Wailers, Stewart Copeland, the drummer from the Police, and Neale Pert, the drummer from Rush. Mm-hmm. And so I had to explain to you, you know, all that about me that you seem to like and think that I'm the man for the job for this song. Well, what I'm hearing in my head is not anything like anything you've heard me do before. What I'm hearing is more of kind of like Sly Dunbar and Robby Shakespeare,
Right. Yeah.
who are the rhythm killers, you know, the Black Uhuru, and geez, they played on a lot of records out of Jamaica through I suppose from 70s, 80s, 90s. I've done all kinds of stuff. And then I got the feeling from you, I was wondering, well, after the conversation, I went away thinking, oh no, what's she thinking that I'm planning on doing with her song, you know? Well, why don't we just let people hear it and they can hear what we did with it?
Sure.
All right, well, this is Chickadee, and this is basically me playing pretty much everything except for there's some guitar in there, some extra guitar thrown in.
Yeah.
Who played that?
Daryl Cooper.
Daryl Cooper, okay. He was doing that kind of those little tasty little wah licks and stuff like that. Who did the rhythm guitar?
Steve Crew.
That's what I thought.
Stephen Crew, yes. I'm digging back through the memory vaults now, Jim.
I remember though he was sort of doing the backbeat, the chunka.
Yeah.
And it was the kind of what I call the white guy chunka, and I showed him how to do the muted chicka,
Yes.
chicka, instead of brank.
Yeah.
I was showing him the chicka thing, and I think he thought that was really cool that you know, he'd been chanking all that time, and then he could actually chink.
Exactly, yeah.
So here's Colleen with the Jim Fidler Jug Band doing Chickadee from Lucky You Are. You're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
many lies, you nearly made a liar out of me. So many lies, you told so many lies, you nearly made a liar out of me. Why are you talking about me? Why are you talking about me? Chickadee.
Hi there everybody, this is your old friend Eddie Mailbag. Jim and Lillian have asked me to do them a little favor. They love bringing you the roar each week, but it's really a lot of work. They don't like to ask, so they asked me to ask on their behalf. If you like the roar and enjoy your time with Jim and Lillian each week, there are 2 things you can do to help. First of all, tell all your friends about the roar. Secondly, go to the official roar website at www.republicavalonradio.com and click on the PayPal button. Any contributions would be greatly appreciated. I'd go and do it myself, but they won't pay me, so I have no money. Come to think of it, when you make your contribution, include a note saying that it's for me, Eddie Mailbag. Then maybe I can drop a tip into the tip jar myself. Well, thanks to everybody for listening. This is Eddie Mailbag signing out. Aloha!
Republic of Avalon Radio. You're with the roar!
Republic of Avalon Radio, you're with the roar, and so is Colleen Power. Colleen's still here, and that was Chickadee, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Actually, I went to do the Needfire show in Toronto. I was leaving the next morning to go do that, and so the previous evening, Colleen was all apologetic, and oh my Jim, that's okay, don't worry. And she bought me Mary Brown's chicken, and so I laid down a whole bunch of tracks, a bass track, and little did I know that Don, the guy who was like producing engineering, I had no idea he was a bass player. So I was kind of like the guy up on the high wire, you know, don't look down or don't shout up at me. I had no idea that I was there playing bass in front of a bass player and all that. So anyway,
it's fine. It's great.
We laid down those tracks, including the dreaded piano track.
I don't know. I like the piano sparse. I'm just not a piano person. I don't know what it is.
It's subtle anyway.
Yeah. Sounds great. I love it.
You need it for the chunk. You needed to lay those little ding 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 things I was doing were kind of whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm out of the picture now. I'm gone to Toronto to do Needfire the next morning, and you're back finishing up the album with Don Ellis. And what? Just let's pick up from there. What was going on with the record and so on, or the CD, I should say.
Yeah. I still call them records too.
Me too. Yeah.
Still a record to me, and actually that CD was kind of made like a record in that the first like 6 or 7 songs would be good for one side, and you flip it over to the other side.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
would have been better like that. But we had a lot of picking away to do, I guess. After you were in, we started putting final touches on everything, and that album ended up taking, I'd say, almost a year to make. But it was my first experience recording a record, and I wanted to have the thing is when I do something and it takes long, and I have like the bed track, the longer I'm away from it, the more things I hear in my head playing on it, you know? Like I keep hearing, I got to have mandolin on this, and then I've got to have accordion, and I've got to have this and that, and like...
Oh no, the dreaded arrangement on the fly.
Yeah.
The inspirational arrangement on the fly.
Yeah. So that's how the album ended up with a lot of people playing on it, and I'm glad it did now, because I really like the way it sounds, and I know that it had to be something that I'd be happy with forever, and I can't see myself becoming unhappy with it. I'm very pleased with that album, Lucky You Are.
I'm digging it, and I think a lot of other people are too. There's an honesty about the album. I think that's the main thing, you know, the main thing that a lot of people appreciate it. There's a kind of a rawness to it, and I think people like that, and a variedness to it as well. It's not one of these CDs where all the songs sound the same. It's not contrived. It's not done under some kind of cookie cutter sort of approach.
I'm not a fan of filler songs.
Yeah. Fiddler songs, though.
Yes, fiddler songs. That's a different story.
Yes. Alrighty. So you made that one. That was your first full length recording that you'd ever done?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. First one. I'd been on a couple of compilations before that, but it was actually the first time I actually sunk my teeth in and took the songs and recorded them.
And all original material?
Yeah.
Wow.
All original songs, mostly English. Three French songs on it.
You like singing in French, don't you?
I love singing in French.
Yeah.
I love writing in French. It's a very poetic and I don't know, it's a beautiful language.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you have two recordings now. You have
yes.
the Lucky You Are.
Yeah, I had Lucky You Are, which was recorded in 1999 to 2000, and I have Face and Eyes, which I just released this past December. And which was recorded also with Don Ellis. I enjoy working with Don a lot, and
that bass playing guy.
Yeah, that bass playing guy. He plays a bit of everything too. And actually, Don on this past album, Face and Eyes. Well, on the first album, we had a bunch of guest vocalists, and this album, we had a few, not so many guest instrumentalists. But Don actually joined me in the singing. Myself and him are the only people singing on the album, and I must say I had a great time doing it, and him coming up with the harmonies and yeah, it was
cool.
fun.
You go, Don.
Yeah, he's a great guy. If you can nail him down.
Yeah, and he's recording everything, just a little bit of a geeky musician sort of thing. For anybody out there, he's still recording all analog.
Yes, actually, he does record analog now. He does have a new digital machine.
Oh, it's about time.
Well, I don't know. I did my. I'm still the analog. I don't know. Still the analog fan.
It's a funny debate, because to be honest, the whole thing about analog, we won't get bogged down on this. But the thing that people are talking about with analog is two things. It's for one thing, you want the 2-inch tape. If you're recording on 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, whatever, you're not going to get the 2-inch tape sound.
Right.
And the other thing is compression that happens. It's just a side effect of the tape rolling over the head. And that's about a 2-to-1 compression. And if you record, see the thing, I've heard some pretty digital sounding recordings that were done analog, and I've heard some pretty analog sounding recordings that were done digitally.
Right.
It's all in the ears of the people that are doing it and the mixing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can do an analog recording just for the sake of analog, and it's on like 1/2 inch tape or 1/4 inch tape, trying to spread 16 tracks out. And you end up with a thinner sound than if you had gone and done that digitally. And of course, you got another thing called the sound-to-noise ratio,
right?
The noise floor, and your dynamics are not as digital. Has really come a long way over the last 10 years ago. I would say it was kind of dodgy, but now it's a whole new thing. But anyway, that's a whole side issue. Yeah. So the new album. Yeah, last December, just in time for Atlanticfest 2005.
Yeah.
And our trip to Ireland, Colleen and myself and a whole bunch of people went over to Ireland in March, and then hosted the crowd over there that we played with. over here in June for Atlanticfest 2005, and we all had a
It was a ball. I had a great time.
really good time, I think. Yep.
Yeah, getting to hear everybody sing their songs and like, that you do know from here, from Newfoundland, and then also getting to hear all these amazing Irish talent songwriters. My goodness.
Yeah, and then you sang on. I did one of the Irish people, Ger Wolf. I recorded one of his songs on my new CD, and you sang on that.
Yeah.
As well as on Avalon, the first one we heard before the beginning of the interview.
Mm-hmm.
How's the album doing?
It's doing great.
Has it gone wood yet?
I don't know. I'm into my second run of 1,000. If that's good or not, I guess so. I've just been selling them off the stage. So
that means that more than your friends and family have bought it. So you're always doing good when you can say that, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's doing good. I'm still getting it out there, you know. And there's still, of course, a lot of people that are still hearing the first one. So basically, they're picking up both of them at the same time, which is grand.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing. You know, we some people think in terms of like linear time. You know, this is the old album, and I don't tend to think that way as much because I think I look at myself and I know that if I get turned on to an artist, whether it's a Christy Moore or a Police or a Beatles or whoever it is, you know, you get one album and boy, you're just digging this so much, you got to have more. And the year that's on it really doesn't matter anything, does it?
No,
you know?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I don't want to buy that Police album. That's old.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's ever said that. So, so what's on the go for the future? You got this out, the still new.
Yeah,
still
pretty new. I'm taking it on the road and doing some shows all through Atlantic Canada and Ontario, and coming back, and I just want to get the music out there. You know, it's still we live in Newfoundland, and most of my problem is, and like any other musician, is the cost of traveling, you know, anywhere basically, because you have to get off the island first, you know, and it makes such a difference if you do live in Halifax. But who wants to live in Halifax? I mean,
except for people who live in Halifax.
Except for people who live in Halifax,
because we love Halifax, don't we, Colleen?
Oh, right.
Go yo Halifax, big up.
Oh, well, I love Newfoundland, and I don't want to live anywhere else. So if I want to live here and take the music elsewhere, it's going to take a bit of work, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy bringing the music to different people who haven't heard it before, or have heard of it because of this internet that we have now, which is a great thing.
Well, this is going up, like I was before we started the interview, this is going up on archive.org. Oh, so this ain't going nowhere.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. It'll be there forever.
Yeah.
And it brings the music out to a whole new crowd of people who would never normally hear it. People that, because I mean, bands years ago in Newfoundland, they didn't get their recordings out there. Nobody had any way of hearing it really, unless you actually traveled to the place and sat down, plunked down and played. You
know, you can only be in one place at any given time, but your recorded music can be in multiple time zones,
that's right,
in different places all over the world, being played while you're asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's funny, looking back at, you know, all this whole fear now about MP3s and file sharing and all this and that, kind of reminds you of in the beginning of recording, a lot of the jazz musicians were completely intimidated and afraid of it, because they said, well, gee whiz, you know, if I let y'all record me on that there record, no one's going to come and see my shows.
Right.
You know? So they didn't realize that having that record playing in people's own homes and on their own time, you know, when they get home from work and so on, they're going to go out and buy the other records. And even in some cases, they're going to plan their vacation to go to Chicago or New Orleans or New York or wherever that music is. And when they come through town, they're not going to be never heard of before.
That's right.
You can have people, I'm sure you've had this experience. I've had it more times than I like to count. But I go somewhere and I play, and people are coming up to me after the show and during the break and stuff. And, you know, they're big fans of my music, and they have all my CDs. And I'd never been to that town or city before in my life. And I'm playing a song and people are singing in the audience, just singing along, and they know the words and stuff.
Yeah, that's a great feeling. Yeah.
So I mean, that's the great thing about recording, and that's the great thing about independent distribution, getting it out on the internets, as George Bush likes to call it. By the way, if in case anyone's listening to this, like in the year 3000 or something like that, that reference was to kind of a sort of a not very important American politician. So you're just going to keep on keeping on and spreading the music.
Yeah, I'm going to spread the music and do some touring and whatever else comes up after that. I'm going to do an album soon, I would imagine this winter, with Sandy Morris.
Okay.
And it's called Rejects. And it's songs that got left off of the other 2 CDs, basically.
Well, if I can shake a tambourine or do an ooh-wah in the background, or
I'm going to take you up on it.
You just let me know, and
that
I'd be
wicked.
More than happy. I'm cheap,
right?
But I'm not easy.
No. Excellent.
All right. Well, thanks a million for dropping by, and she's driving her bike home from this.
My $20 bike.
Little get together, the $20 bike, and it's a bit chilly. It's a bit of a chilly one here in the Republic of Avalon, so that shows.
Work up a sweat.
That shows some chutzpah on her part for coming over and doing it. Yeah. And well, I want to wish you all the best of luck with everything you do, and I want to tell people, go to ColleenPower.com. That's 2 L's.
Yeah.
2 E's. And more power to you. Go over to ColleenPower.com and check out her music. And if you're listening to this sort of now, if you're not one of those future people, Christmas is coming up and her CDs make great Christmas gifts.
And so do Jim Fidler's.
Woo! Alrighty, so what will we play to go out? I guess something from your new CD?
Yeah, seeing as how it's getting a kind of a bit of fall in the air now, it's a track called Newfoundland Weather that I'd like to play.
All right, Newfoundland Weather by Colleen Power. You're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
It's cold enough out to cut you in two. It's in your bones and it goes right through you. It's thick of fog and you can't see across the road. Now the sun is splitting the rocks above you and me in the middle of peace talks. Maybe we'll wait and decide our fate when summer's conditions are subject to change in the hour. No, we shouldn't beat it to death, but maybe there's hope for us yet. Patterns are shifting, a calm spell is here, so we're on hold. Pile on the blankets on. Don't jump to conclusions that winter's gone. Close the windows, 'cause tonight it might snow. Are subject to change in the hour.
Newfoundland. For tomorrow, things improve considerably. For the southwestern corner of Newfoundland, you're looking at mostly sunny skies. For the northern peninsula, central Newfoundland, and much of the south coast, it'll be a nice mix of sunshine and cloud as things start to calm down in the wake of that outgoing low-pressure system.
Republic of Avalon Radio. You're with the Roar!
Republic of Avalon Radio, you're with the Roar, and that was Newfoundland Weather from Colleen Power's latest CD, Face and Eyes. And as of tomorrow morning, some insane hour like 5:30 in the morning, she will be Face and Eyes into a tour. So for more information about that, go to her website, ColleenPower.com, and drop her an email and say hi. Tell her that you heard her here on the Roar. Well, that's about it for this week. We have one submission. We put out a call for your stories, your interesting stories, things that have happened in your life or perhaps in the lives of those around you. Could be a story from your grandfather or your mom or one of your brothers and sisters, doesn't matter, or even a friend. But just interesting stories. We've got one submission so far. I think I'd rather wait and get a couple more in before we start playing them. And of course, this week with the Power Hour, there wasn't any room for any such thing anyway. So, send in your stories. republicavalonradio@gmail.com or jimfidler@gmail.com. Skype at Republic of Avalon Radio, all one word, all lowercase. The Roar line, country code 1, area code 724-426-8176. And if you have something in an audio format you'd like to get to us, if you create something in a WAV format or MP3, just get in touch with us through one of the aforementioned means, and we'll make some sort of arrangements to get that file from you if it's too big to be sent as an email attachment. Okay then, all the best to everybody. We hope you enjoyed this week, me cutting my teeth in the studio here as an interviewer. I've been an interviewee several times, but not an interviewer. So I hope that somehow we cut muster. Until next week, from Lillian and myself, take care of each other, tell your friends about the Roar, and we'll see you next time on Republic of Avalon Radio. Rootcellar production.